Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 264, recording on Monday, March 2nd, 2026. And my name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name's Andrew.
And on this week's episode, we'll be doing some, what we played mostly, some catch-up. Not just catch-up, some big new releases. Resident Evil Requiem and the Marathon Server Slam. Some Demo Mania from Sean and Huck, and maybe a few other things. So thanks for joining us. How you guys doing?
Good.
Not too bad.
All right. Before we get into it, just got to put a little announcement out there. Plug some other business.
Plug some business.
Patreon.com/filmjunk has a new format change coming. And if you're listening to this right now or watching on youtube.com/gamejunk, there is some hot new video content and audio content over on Patreon. So if you've, a lot of listeners and viewers probably are Film Junk fans as well. But if you're not or don't know about it and you like movies, you should check it out. Our first new retro review or full review in a more non-release format is The Goonies. And you can watch the video or listen to the audio episode now on patreon.com/filmjunk. So go check it out if you haven't before. Definitely worth a little poke.
It's huge. It's going to be huge.
You can always go up to the hero tier and show your love and respect, as you probably should. But if you're already doing that, thank you already. And I hope you like the new stuff. All right. Anyone else have any stuff they got to plug, promote, get out into the world? Okay. All right, we're going to start with Resident Evil Requiem. It's required. A lot of chatter about this game. Physical copies sold out everywhere. It's a hot item.
Yeah, I was hearing that.
People are loving this game. I'm almost done. I've almost completed it, and I didn't start it until yesterday, and I've played it quite a bit. But Sean, you're a little earlier, so I'll let you give your thoughts first. I don't want to steal all the thunder. So what do you got?
Well,
Resident Evil Requiem, game of the year, potentially.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what you have to say, being as far as you are in the game. But it starts off.
I should also say you are the Resident Evil head. You say it's your favorite, one of your favorite franchises, even though you've really only played Resident Evil 4 and finished it.
Again, I don't know if I say it's one of my favorite franchises. Resident Evil 4 is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. And I will say Requiem could be up there with Resident Evil 4. Like it's pretty close. I'm very early, 3 hours in maybe. So, but I'm getting the sense that this is one of the best Resident Evil games. And I think it's pretty amazing how they've managed to marry the sort of Leon ridiculous action stuff with the Grace first-person, more survival horror, intense stuff. And that's kind of, when they announced that Leon was going to be added to the game, I was kind of like, well, what does that mean for the game? Like, okay, people like the character, but whatever. I didn't really fully grasp that it was these two perspectives jumping back and forth. And I guess you can play Grace in third person, I think, or you have the option to. But I really like switching back and forth between them and getting both sides of Resident Evil. And just the intro is very strong. Like, it's intriguing from a story standpoint. There's some scares early on. You get some action early on. Like, it starts off with a bang. And I'm basically just past the chainsaw sequence, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know, maybe there's multiple chainsaw sequences, but the first one you hit, and I was like, this is pretty amazing. Like, chainsaws have been in Resident Evil games before, but not quite like this.
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm pretty close to the end. I'm hitting like the last kind of area of the game, or very close to it. And I am absolutely loving this game. It is incredible. I I was hearing all the hype, and I love Village. I think Village does not get enough love, and I'm like leaning into the past and nostalgia aspects of this. My guard was up. I'll say that. And playing it, it's such a good decision. It's basically what a Legacy sequel should be for modern movies, particularly blockbusters, and it pulls it off better than most movies I can think of in recent memory. Like Sean said, it captures everything Resident Evil has offered in the past. It has the high intensity action that people complained about in stuff like Resident Evil 5 and 6, married with the slower, tense first-person aspects of the recent Resident Evil games, and cutting back and forth between those and switching the camera perspective. So by default, Emma is first-person, Leon's third, and it really makes it feel like two different characters, two different vibes. And what that does for pacing is incredible. You know, there are times where Emma's stuff feels a little on rails, not in a bad way. Actually, they both feel on rails at times. Like they both have very curated experiences. It's that's not to say.
That was one of my complaints about the intro, is that it's a lot of fun, but it takes a while before you feel like, okay, now I'm actually playing the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, you get two different perspectives, and it's clearly focused where Emma's is the more tense and avoiding things. Sound is kind of brought down, not a lot of weapons. Things are more scarce, survival horror in the classic sense. And then Leon is full assault, or full arsenal of weaponry, big boss moments, spectacle. Not that there isn't spectacle with Emma's story as well, but they clearly picked their spots with Leon, because you just by the nature of the character has access to more weapons and is a little faster, and it's such a good decision. I can't believe how much fun it is to bounce between the two characters, and just some of the spectacle zombies and enemies. I don't think Sean's there yet. Like I agree, the chainsaw moment early was a highlight, but there's two zombies coming up, one in particular that is so cool. And in the one I'm talking about, I don't want to spoil what it is. It's clearly, as a game developer, you can see how they've limited what can happen within those moments, like certain gates that are going to trigger animations, and there's not a ton of things that can go wrong, but it doesn't feel that way. I would think to the average player, and even when I'm playing it, even though I'm aware of these things, I don't really care. It's like so well done from a game development standpoint that it feels, I know a lot of people saying this on the Discord as well, next gen. It feels like a next gen game when you're like blowing heads off, and I know when I knew I was in for something special. The title is Requiem. I did not know what Requiem meant. I'm still not sure I do, but early on you get a gun called the Requiem, which is, I think it's new to this game. I don't remember it in previous games. Do you know, Sean? I'm not a lore head for
I do not remember.
But it's like this massive hand cannon, and the first time you kill an enemy with that, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And it just kind of keeps going. The pacing is some of the best I've ever seen. It reminds me of a Naughty Dog, particularly Uncharted 1 and 2 is what it reminds me of. Like just moving the story along, cutscenes don't linger too much, visual pacing along with gameplay pacing. I think it has, because of the two characters, it has better gameplay pacing than an Uncharted game. Because Uncharted, you're kind of doing the same stuff, although there's exploration versus combat, and this has that as well. But then you get also this extra level of variety, and it is just so good. I just can't stop playing, really. It's I just want to finish it, and I can tell I'm going to want to play it again immediately after. And this is a true testament to how good it is. And if I have any tiny criticisms, it's the checkpoints are a little arbitrary, particularly in the Emma stealth sections. There's this big thing you're avoiding.
Sorry, Frank, you keep saying Emma. Is it Emma or is it Grace?
I don't know. I think there's another character named Emma, isn't there? It might be Grace.
Maybe I haven't got to that character yet.
Okay, my bad. All right.
I'm confused too, because apparently the main character, the female main character in this game is like the daughter of a character from like Resident Evil Outbreak or something like that multiplayer game. So I do not know all the lore, but
maybe I'm thinking, okay. Yeah, I don't even think there is anyone named Emma. Although oh God, I might have just spoiled some stuff. Even unintentionally, for the record. I didn't even make this connection when I said that, but maybe subconsciously I did. I don't know. I'm sorry. But yes, Grace, I apologize. But I guess one thing I haven't said, it looks so good. It's the best looking game I can remember in the last few years, I think. Definitely better than anything that came out last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, so you're playing on the PS5 Pro?
Oh, yeah, baby. Finally paying off.
Yep, that's what I'm hearing. It's the first game that kind of really takes advantage of, what is it called? The, I don't know, some new rendering technology. I don't remember what it's called, but...
Emma rendering. That's why I was confusing the names. I'm just going to use the name Emma for everything. If I don't know, I'm just subbing in Emma.
PSSR 2.0.
I think they released an update to that recently as well. I don't know if that's true or not, or to what level, but as I progress through the game, different areas, the lighting is so good. It's blowing my mind at times. Every time I'm like, I'm kind of getting sick of an area, or I'm like, okay, let's mix it up a bit, and then it just flips something or has a boss fight that's incredible. It just keeps wowing me. No, a game has not wowed me in this way in a very long time. So I think I got the feeling some people were on the fence with this. I guess I was to some degree, but it is so good. It might be the best Resident Evil when all is said and done, and it's what I needed right now. Like, not a long game, 10 to 15 hours, depending on how much you're exploring and looking for extra stuff or trying to get trophies, and just a blast the entire time. My kind of game, the kind of game I've been waiting for a while. That doesn't feel arbitrarily extended, and it's a slow-paced game, which typically would be, I tend to get sick of those or feel like it's being stretched out. I'm just walking slow, like in a lot of walking simulators, because they want the game to be longer. It doesn't feel like that in this game. Like, it feels appropriate, and it's still fun and intense. It's an intense game, although the jump scares don't get me. I don't know why. I see them all coming for the most part. So
yeah, I was surprised that you said that, because I think a lot of people have been saying that the first person stuff in this is some of the most intense yet. And I mean, I kind of agree. I mean, it's not, I don't know. I'm trying to think of games that, would be at the top of my list for scariest games. And I honestly don't, nothing is really coming to mind. I mean, obviously playing Resident Evil 7 in VR is up there. But I think this is definitely up there too.
Yeah. The jump scare thing for me with movies is more about, in theaters, typically in the volume. It's that it's so loud that you're kind of at the mercy of what's going on. And I'm playing at a reasonable volume at home, but I'm not like scared or anything. But it's got a great level of suspense and vibe, aesthetic. It feels creepy. It's great. I think all the characters are awesome. I think Grace is a genuinely good character. And even though it's first person perspective, you don't see her as much as Leon. I feel like her story kind of makes sense, and it does some interesting stuff story-wise that I'm not like I said, a lore head for Resident Evil, but there are some payoffs that are pretty big, pulling into previous entries in the series. And I think that's like, they're smart developers. They're reusing assets from other games. They backtrack in interesting ways that they're reusing environments, but there's a twist on it. This is a masterclass in how to like squeeze every drop of like effort, resources into a game. And I think the one thing I was saying, the criticism of the checkpoints being arbitrary, I had to redo some stuff during the grace sections.
That was a complaint I was going to bring up. It's not like a deal breaker, obviously, but
Yeah.
you know they want to have the typewriter thing, but it's kind of unclear sometimes because it's like, you know, you maybe within a section you're playing as Grace or you're playing as Leon. Actually, I haven't got to a point with Leon in the typewriter yet, but you have to hit that typewriter to save, otherwise you'll go back to your last save.
Not always.
But well, okay,
That's where it gets arbitrary. There's times
right, like there's a time where I played for, I don't know, 15 minutes maybe, and felt like I had done a lot and then died, and I had to go all the way back to my last typewriter save. On the other hand, if you hit one of those switches of perspective and then die pretty quickly, you'll just go back to that point. It won't be the typewriter save, which makes sense, but it's not always clear.
And we should mention, I think that's in like medium difficulty modern. That happens. I think in medium difficulty classic mode, it's only typewriters. But
Oh, really?
don't quote me on that. There's like two medium difficulties. Yeah. But what I was going to say was a testament to the game is that when I have to replay stuff, I don't even mind. Like there's some intense combat sequences with like bosses later on with Leon or large groups of enemies. And when I die, I'm kind of like, okay, I want to do that again. That was a lot of fun. It's the mechanics are solid, and there's so much polish and spectacle, even within like a trivial combat encounter with a zombie. Even those feel epic with the options you have to take them out, the different cameras and custom like animations for death, whether it's stealth or using your axe. Grace has this injector that makes their heads explode. It's incredible. It just keeps blowing me away. And I'm really curious to see how it ends because it is not disappointed so far.
Yeah, on the replay thing as well, I mean, it also, they switch things up, right? Like there's a section that I was playing that was as Grace, you're being stalked by something, you think you know what the patterns are, and then all of a sudden it does something completely different, and you're like, what? Like, so, you know, even if you're dying and replaying stuff, it's going to feel different every time through, which, you know, I guess some people maybe might not like that, but definitely keeps you on your toes and keeps things fresh. So,
yeah, the only thing that's a little frustrating with the Grace failure states and redoing them is that character moves really slow, and you're waiting for something else to move. So it feels a little more boring compared to replaying a Leon section where you can just do what you want, maybe try a different approach to combat or use different weapons, where the Grace stuff, you're a little limited in what your choices are in some of those sections, but they just look good as well. And man, the quality of the character models and the enemy models, some of the bosses, it's
the blood effects, the splatter and stuff looks so
dude,
good.
There's one, I mean, I guess it's optional. I had to get a trophy for it, but I killed this one enemy and blood goes everywhere. And you go back and look at it. It is so cool. I just can't get enough of this game. I can't wait till other people play it. There's one, you get to fight it. Well, different, it's not a one-off fight. It's like a zombie that shows up a couple times, but it is so neat. I'm just so pleasantly surprised. I obviously thought it was going to be decent. It's a Resident Evil game, but it has surpassed any expectations I had. And yeah, if you're on the fence, no need to be, unless you need a game to be 20 hours long, which this is not. This game is almost perfect.
Yeah, I think most Resident Evil games are a little bit, I mean, not short. I think it's like the perfect length, but I think they are made for replaying as well, right? Like trying to beat your times, get all the collectibles, try different difficulty levels, that kind of thing. So
yeah, and the callbacks are great. The locations, they're not even like direct, like things have changed story-wise from previous games, so it's just somewhat familiar but still new. And You have a new location as the primary starting area, which is like a old hospital, which is creepy and feels like the mansion in the first game or the police station. You know, they just know what this series is like so well at this point and capture everything about it in one game. It is like the ultimate Resident Evil game. And if you want to get super nitpicky, this should have been Resident Evil 10. Like this should have been like a culmination of everything. But I mean, who's going to complain about that, you know? I mean, maybe it is Code Veronica. It kind of is the 10th one. And who knows with all the other one-off Resident Evil games, but it rules. It is so amazing.
I got one other minor observation.
Yeah.
How did you feel? I know you're a big font guy.
Uh-oh.
The setting the scene or the chapter name and the font is like that full screen thing. I feel like they kind of ripped it off from Alan Wake too.
I obviously thought, okay, Alan Wake did this a bit, especially cutting between the two characters. I thought you were going to go to the actual font for the
logo,
like game over screens and just general menus, which
okay.
I'm not crazy about. But like aesthetically, branding wise, as a game, I'm more impressed with Village. Village to me was including how the Roman numeral 8 was in the word village, and Biohazard and 7 was in the previous game. That's the only thing I would say like other recent Resident Evils have on over this, like just the top level aesthetic for the game.
It's got the RE9 REQ for Requiem though.
Well, that's kind of lost on me, to be honest. I don't even notice it. I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah, I mean, they did something in one of the trailers that kind of highlighted.
Was it the Q in Requiem that got flipped to be a 9 or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's great. Just probably, I mean, it's going to be high on my list, I'm sure.
This is classic Frank calling his game of the year already.
I'm not doing that this year. There's too much good stuff, but it's got a chance, that's for sure. And I'm curious to see, like, DLC wise, if they do any VR things. I doubt it, but it's possible.
Yeah, I was looking that up. I mean, apparently has not been anything announced yet, so I'm not sure.
I mean, in terms of processing and what it would require, you could look at 7 and 8 and see, especially 7, some of the shrubs and tree assets. You could tell they were not great. Like it was kind of made for VR in some respects. So this one is not like that. Everything is like super high quality asset, photogrammetry in certain areas that it looks like lifelike, but also, you know, specific to the Resident Evil world at the same time. The art direction's impeccable. Maybe Claire Obscure will win 2 years in a row. They'll just say, let's give it the art direction award to Claire Obscure again at the Game Awards. Just because it's such a good story. You know, it should win 2 years in a row.
I mean, they'll release DLC and then that'll win Game of the Year.
But you can't help but think, even if a game like this was released last year, Claire Obscure would have won Best Art Direction, which is insane. I have to keep bringing this up. I will not stop until people start talking about how ridiculous it was for that game to win art direction. Okay, I'll probably have more thoughts once I finish it tonight or tomorrow at the latest. But so incredible. One of the best games of recent memory. And as I said, exactly what I needed right now. I was never more primed for this type of game. I don't think there was a game like this at all last year, except to some degree, Mafia: The Old Country was a bit like this, but this is like at another level, tech and design wise and budget wise. It is so good.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Let us know your thoughts on Resident Evil Requiem. I know on the Discord, people are echoing a lot of these things, and I'm happy to agree. It rules. All right. Huck City.
Yeah.
What you got?
So I played Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which is a fairly new release, I think, probably in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I thought I had played the original, but I definitely did not. And I think it was a PS1 game originally and very 2D and apparently very long, like 100 plus, 120 plus hours. So I was a little hesitant.
Really? It's that long?
The original. This one, they've trimmed it down, refined everything. They've added all the like speed up battle stuff that kind of more modern remakes are doing. And apparently this game's more like 25 to 30 hours now. So they trimmed like a third, which or trimmed 2/3, sorry, which is crazy to think about. If not,
does that mean they
three-quarters.
actually trimmed part of the game, or just that they sped it up?
They sped it up, I think. Like the story parts sound the same from what I can tell.
Okay.
What I looked into, because I was trying to figure out what are the main differences between this and the original. It sounds like the story beats are all there. It's really just the sped up battles. I think they added auto battling and sped up battles, so it's kind of like double speed, kind of on top of everything. And I think also they added like a sprint, so you can run around town faster. And I don't know, they probably sped up some of like the dialogue speed or something like that. So overall, just trying to like quicken the pace of the game. Like, these games don't need to be 100 hours just because you're wanting to walk slow. That kind of bugs me in games like RPGs where they just pad the game out with big maps and like slow walking through big cities and stuff like that. So far I am about 3 hours in and I'm actually really enjoying it. I was surprised. The beginning is a little slow, which I know, Frank, you're going to have a similar opinion. But after you kind of get into some combat, it's pretty good. But I'm also like auto battling every single time. I'm not doing any like strategic planning. I'm literally just saying, go attack, show me the numbers going up. And so far I haven't had any problems doing that method. I also really like the graphical style of this game. I like that it's not a, Octopath Traveler 2.5D pixely meets voxel, whatever kind of art style we're calling that. I like that it's almost the art style actually reminds me of like the new Mario art style, like Mario Wonder and the Super Mario movies and stuff like that. It reminds me of that, almost like I don't know how would you describe that art style of those games?
Of which one? The
like
Mario?
Like the Mario movie and the Mario Wonder, like the art style of characters.
Like classic computer generated animated art style, like round edges.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I mean,
Wonder was 2D though, right?
It was a 2D plane, but I think the assets were 3D, or at least they looked like 3D.
Right,
they were very like lit. So I mean, you could do that with 2D assets if you really want to, but I digress. So
yeah, I would just say a 3D animated film a classic 3D animated film aesthetic, not like the current generation where everything is super stylized or leaning into a different thing. Just very clean, cartoony, and
cartoony is probably good.
Kind of the same way that like Ni no Kuni leaned into a 2D animated aesthetic. It's an equivalent, and I think kind of what Jack and Daxter did to some degree, the first game, of just trying to capture a 3D rendered environment for something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I just really like the art style. I think they did a good job. A lot of it is like a lot of small islands, and there's not, so far I haven't found any big like vistas or anything and big map areas you need to walk through. And kind of from looking at some reviews, it sounds like it's all based around these small islands. So yeah, I don't think it's really going to become anything bigger than it is right now. But overall, I'm surprisingly enjoying it. I thought I would kind of bounce off it and just be like, oh, it's another super long RPG. But I'm actually enjoying it, and the story so far is not amazing. It's just kind of a typical kind of boring RPG fetch quest at the moment. But yeah, the art style, the gameplay, and just like the exploration, and it has a mechanic where, you know, when you approach an enemy, if you hit A at the right time, then it's just like really fun to play.
I was at the library the other day, and it was just sitting there out to put on the shelf. They must have just got it that day, and I grabbed it. I'm like, gotta give it a shot. I am only 40 minutes in, maybe an hour, and I like it. I really like old RPGs where the scale is not insane, and like just this small island you start on and rotating it. I like the vibe for sure. I did not realize it was this old though. I thought it was like a PS2 or maybe even PS3 game. I just get confused with Dragon Quest numbers, but I do like the aesthetic quite a bit. Although there's only one character that, and I look at what they looked like originally, and it's somewhat accurate. But Kiefer, Prince Kiefer, that character kind of creeps me out. Other than that, I like all the character designs. There's just something about that model that, I don't know. I don't like it. It reminds me of something, maybe Chucky a bit.
Yeah, a little Chucky. Little demonic doll.
Yeah, it just scares me. It terrifies me. But I'll just say, in the hour I played, you know, these games go for the you can tell it's old because of the slow burn of the story. Nothing is happening. I haven't even done combat yet in an hour.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to people in villages. I'm like, okay, I need to do something. The only reason I'm playing this is because Tim Rogers says it's like the best combat system ever. And I have to play it on auto battle to find out how the numbers are, right, Huck?
Exactly. Yeah.
I gotta see what the fuss is about. But yeah, I'm digging it. I definitely am enjoying it more than the brief time I spent with Dragon Quest HD 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, me too.
1 and 3. I tried a bit of both of those. So it's kind of neat. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it right now. But yeah, I appreciate that it's going for something different than, as Huck said, the retro pixelated look and aspiring to something new. And, you know, I don't really get sick of remakes. So if this is the more different kind of directions we get for these types of things, the better. And I think there's a lot, like some Final Fantasy games with this type of art style could be very cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful for stuff like this. So it's good. And I've no connection to Dragon Quest at all. Do you, Huck? I know you're more of a Final Fantasy guy, but
I tried, you know, Dragon Warrior 1 for the NES.
Yeah.
And maybe 2. And then
at what point did it change from Dragon Warrior to Dragon Quest?
This was still Dragon Warrior on PS1. It was Dragon Warrior 7.
The next one is when they changed to Dragon Quest. And I think it was Dragon Quest all the time in Japan.
Yeah, I think that's true.
But in the States, there's probably some sort of copyright thing or something. But I think Dragon Quest 8, which is the first one I think I actually like played for a long time, came out. And that was the one, I think, if I remember correctly, I should probably look this up, but it had like a lot of British voice acting to do the characters. And I think it was on the PS3. And that game was extremely slow and extremely long, and it was painful. But, you know, back in the day when you had like one big game to play every couple months, you just kind of powered through and kept going on it. But I remember not enjoying it that much just because it was so long. But I know a lot of people do like that one.
Yeah, it looks like Dragon Quest 8 was PS2, and that's when the name
PS2.
change happened in North America.
That's
but I think they also had a playable demo of Final Fantasy 12 on there, I think it looks like, or so. Maybe it was a calculated time to change the name.
Yeah, this is definitely the game I was thinking of that takes forever.
Yeah, even when I played Dragon Quest 3 HD, that's like the beginning was very slow. It's kind of shocking.
It's very traditional. Like this is a world, and you are going to literally explore this entire world in like the slowest. Like you are literally a nobody in this world, and you're gonna go and bake cookies, and then find a stick and go beat some slimes, and then after you get a slime, you're going to go buy a pot lid as a shield, and then that's going to help you do something else, and then like just stupid stuff like that takes forever.
Yeah, they're very committed to the like humble beginnings, the hero's journey, where it does not take long. Kind of what Zelda used to be with Link, and people complained about the hand holding and having to do the same stuff at the beginning of every Zelda game. But I kind of admire that they're so committed to that. I haven't played anything past 8, although I did try 11 at some point, I think. But, you know, just staying true to the series, maybe even to a fault, I can appreciate the commitment in some way.
I mean, GameShark.com described the first 2 hours of the game as some of the most boring hours you will ever play in a video game.
In which one? This one, 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
This remaster or the original?
The original.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing that's an old review. I don't know.
And I bet that 2 hours is like even like what Frank played is probably past that 2 hours of what the original was. So
because I have the sprint and even just, you know, getting used to the rotating. There was a rotating camera for the island, and appreciating the art style was probably at a different level, but it's pretty cool. I like it. Kind of feels like it's come and gone very quickly. Not a lot of fanfare, not even trophy guides for it. So kind of strange that.
Really? Why are you playing it?
Well, I got it from the library. I did a little Reddit research, and it said no missables really. So I wasn't worried. Gotcha. I'm not going to get too far anyway, so I'm really not worried.
Fair enough.
I just had to pop on it when I saw it at the library. You can't let it sit there. You got to get it.
It needs a home. It needs a home.
All right, Sean.
Yes. Do you want to talk Marathon? I mean, I don't have that much to say about it. You obviously will have more. But it's out this week. We did try the server slam. And, I've dabbled in Arc Raiders. I've not played as much as Frank has.
I haven't played that much, to be honest. So
okay. And obviously that's the big comparison that's going to be made between these two games. I'm sure it's an extraction shooter, and it does feel pretty similar. But I think the difference is from what, playing an hour of it, from what I saw, the shooting itself feels better. Now, I thought it was going to be positioning itself more as a shooter and more actiony, but I still feel like not that many firefights broke out during my 1 hour of playtime. So it is still kind of Arc Raiders in terms of the vibe of just, you've got your objectives and you're kind of searching the environment, and you might encounter some enemy robots, but did we even fight any actual PvP?
Yeah, I think we fought other runners once or twice. I would say it happens a lot more often than it did in Arc Raiders. I haven't found anyone yet, another player, that has not engaged in battle or said don't shoot. So it'll be interesting to see how the community evolves compared to Arc Raiders, but so far it's kill or be killed from what I've seen.
Yeah, which kind of makes sense. I mean, just obviously it's Bungie, and it's the whole vibe of it. It's a little flashier. I mean, I do like, you were saying you're kind of getting sick of the 90s cyberpunk hacker aesthetic. I love it. I guess I haven't seen as many games that have been doing it as you have, but
I mean, while we're talking about that,
for me,
I think there's smaller games that have done it. It's stuff like Cyber Demon and that developer's other game, Sectori, and a few others that I'm forgetting right now. There's another bigger one, I think, but they haven't hit the mainstream. Even the font they use, and this is the first big budget major developer that's adopted that aesthetic. So I think it has potential to work on a bigger level, but they have polished elements that those other small games don't have, like the moth loading screen that we talked about while we were playing is very cool, and just kind of just a strange aesthetic that works. But I'm not, I like the neon colors. I'm not sure how I feel about the neons and primary colors intermixing at times. It's part of the 90s computer aesthetic, which is like kind of gaudy in a way, which I understand, but I don't know if I like looking at it right now.
I mean, I like, for the most part, all the visuals that I saw. I mean, System Shock comes to mind, like games like that I feel like they're drawing from. There are some story elements, which, again, seems kind of like Arc Raiders. I don't know that I really even got far enough into Arc Raiders to understand how all that stuff worked, where you're like doing missions for different people. In this game, there's factions, and then you're kind of talking to the leaders of the different factions, and there's little cutscenes and things that play in between missions, which I liked. I don't know if it goes more farther than just cutscenes, though. Like, I mean, is that all it is?
I mean, there's lore slightly embedded in the game. When you complete missions, you get these kind of emails that have like lore embedded in them, kind of thing, that get added to your codex, but nothing like next level that I've seen. But it's the server slam. Who knows if that's the full picture.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how similar it is to Arc Raiders, to be honest. It's just like almost a first-person Arc Raiders with a different aesthetic, and their approach to crafting and missions is a little more streamlined. Like, those menus are like very simple to navigate, and in my opinion, better designed. Like, I know where I need to go. It's less work to pick things to do in between runs, which I prefer to Arc Raiders. But as like a package, I'm kind of shocked. And I've never played Escape from Tarkov. I'm guessing they both borrow a lot of things from that game, that they ironed out a lot of the economies and how to approach some of the stuff. So I can't say for sure because I haven't played that game. But when I see two games, recent games that do so many similar things, it immediately screams to me, okay, they must be kind of pulling from things that work in another game.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that I know a lot of people have been pointing out that was kind of annoying, it didn't seem like there's a way to quickly, you're rummaging through containers and things, and then you want to kind of just grab everything that's there. It seemed like you had to individually go one by one every item, which is kind of weird.
I know why that's there. Because from what I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a system like Arc Raiders where whoever loots first has access to it first.
I did notice that.
It's a free for all. You can all access it at the same time. So it's because there can be multiple people going through it at the same time. So you can't just grab everything.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But I mean, I'm at this point, I'm fully committed to Marathon. It's my new Concord and even though I don't even like it that much, I'm just Blue Haze all the way. And I'm supporting a PlayStation owned studio, Bungie. And I got all the Twitch rewards. I almost convinced myself to play to level 30 to get all the server slam rewards this weekend. And then I'm like, I was at level 10 and I had played a bunch. I'm like, how long is it going to take to get to level 30? And I double checked the rewards, and it's just like consumable stuff you can lose in a run. So once I'm like, okay, good, I'm done, which is probably isn't the best sign, but it's more like, this is all getting erased anyway. I'm putting a bunch of time into something that's not even going to carry forward for the most part. So, that being said, I think I like it a bit more than Arc Raiders because I just like the first person shooting. And where I think it separates itself from Arc Raiders is the classes. So you have these shells that you use that have like totally different play styles and powers and passive abilities that are very different and change the game completely. So I think that's where the gameplay for this game is going to evolve and be more interesting than Arc Raiders, where everyone's kind of the same thing when you're out there in the world. It might be worse or it's going to balancing issues for sure. Because when I was playing, everyone used this one shell, kind of this stealth shell that literally other than people who are brand new to the game, everyone used this one. So it must be OP, or people are talking about it on servers or Reddit or whatever. So I don't know, I think balancing this game is going to be hard. That will be an interesting thing to see over time.
I am curious if the classes and some of the like class abilities, like, you know, one of the issues with these games that I, you know, for me personally, and maybe I just haven't played enough to fully get it, but the idea that your loot is, or like the gear you acquire along the way, you know, improves your abilities and stuff. But if you're out on a run and you get killed, you lose that gear. That's, you know, you're kind of like, I don't want to bring my best gear out because I might lose it. So it's kind of like frustrating in that way. But I wonder if the class abilities help with that a little bit. Like you've got some stuff that's just built into your class to rely on.
Well, to some degree, there are permanent unlocks through the different factions that that carry over via a season. I think a lot of them. So it's when you're done a season, that stuff resets. But I agree. Like, I'm being somewhat facetious when I say I'm fully committed to Marathon. Like, I am going to give it a chance. I always want to be there from the ground floor on a game and just be like, I was there from the beginning. This is my game. I'm not so sure it's going to stick with Marathon. I want it to, but it might not happen. But I also, with you, I don't get the appeal of permanent loss of things. And I was dying a lot. And one thing I think Arc Raiders does better is the XP that it gives is more generous on a run, even if you fail, just for killing things and looting caches. So I'm like, it was not that rewarding to do things and just die in this game to the same level. It's punishing in Arc Raiders as well, but not as punishing in my opinion.
But in Marathon, you could complete missions and then die, and it's still like you completed. I guess it's the same in Arc Raiders.
That's
depending on what the mission is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like the menu system better in this than Arc Raiders. I found Arc Raiders kind of confusing and like over encumbered with information. I prefer the streamlined approach to this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not mind blowing in any way. And I aesthetically was expecting a bit more, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean, I want to give it a chance. I probably will pick it up. I can't believe I'm saying that, but like, I mean, honestly, the vibe I'm getting from everyone else is people think it's already dead. Like, this game has no shot.
I didn't get that at all. Like the reviews I've seen from outlets are pretty positive. I mean, don't know what kind of payola is going on there, but they've even on the server slam I checked. I don't know why or how they limit this, but there's no Steam reviews, so there must be a way for demos or certain things to limit that.
Well, I think maybe if it's not out yet, you can't leave a review, right?
But it's a separate release. Like it's not you go to Marathon and there's a demo you download or a server slam executable. It's its own SKU, and it just has no reviews yet. So it's just you're not allowed to review it. So I think things like that will actually make people more intent to review bomb it once it shows up, even although I guess you have to have bought it to do that. So that's interesting. That's why I assume they don't let you do that on the server slam for free stuff. But I think it has potential. Whether it's hit what level of that potential it's hit when it launches this week, I'm not so sure about. But these days, if it's not there on day one, like you're saying, you might be in for a world of hurt, like Concord, whether it's fair or not, and Highguard.
Yeah.
But I prefer, if I had to like just do one run and say which gameplay I prefer, it would be Marathon over Arc Raiders. But I'm just personally not sold on extraction shooters other than stuff like Helldivers, which I think is a totally different thing and how I would prefer these types of games personally. But we'll see. I'll probably pick it up as well. Sean, you're definitely going to do 2 runs and never play it again, just so you know.
That sounds
might not want to
right.
buy it. All right, Huck, what do you got?
Last thing I played was Kenna Bridge of Spirits after the new Kenna announcement. I had never played the original Kenna Bridge of Spirits, so I said, you know what, let's get it out of the old library and give it a whirl, and that's what I did. And so far, I would say I'm probably like 2 hours in or so, maybe. I'm really digging it. I know there was like some comments about the combat being basic, but it's fine for me. I mean, it doesn't do anything special, but I like how it uses the little like black fuzzball creatures in the gameplay to, I guess, what do they call it? I don't know. It's like the corruption. You're basically like cleansing
Rot?
rot. Yeah. Yeah. You're cleansing the rot.
But aren't those characters called rot as well? Are they the same thing? Or?
Could be. Yes. Yeah.
I don't know.
So whatever you're cleansing with these creatures, these rot creatures, it's kind of neat, and I like how they are gating the world from you based on the rot. So you kind of, I got to an area that's like a town, but many of the offshoots of the town, you can kind of see through this kind of transparent or semi-transparent sheen. And obviously you need to like kind of like do more in the world before those areas. But it's kind of that dangling of the carrot in front of your face and being like, hey, there's more stuff over here to do later, which I like. And yeah, I feel like so far it's visually incredible and the gameplay is sufficient for me. I'm not looking for some crazy, Neo style crazy parry action game. So this is good for me. I'm liking the game. I don't know. I thought it was kind of hit or miss of game where it was like some people really liked it, others did not, but I don't totally remember, but
I feel like it was pretty well received.
Yeah, okay. I would say like around an 8 average review or so. I would say probably Metacritic of 78 if I had to guess, but
okay. Yeah. I mean, we could probably look it up right now to confirm, but
yeah, I just want to see if I guessed it right. Sean, you got it there?
No. I mean, I have it on Wikipedia, which may not be fully up to date or whatever, but it says it's 83 on PC, 81 on PS5, and 76 on PS4.
Okay. So I mean, right around
81,
right around where you mentioned. So okay, I thought it was, for some reason I thought it was lower in a lot of people's minds. So I don't know. I guess I'm right in line with everyone else. And I'm enjoying it. For some reason, I thought it was like visually stunning, like crazy animation, because it was like an animation in the studio that did it, but the gameplay was kind of lacking. That was the vibe I got, but that I'm obviously not remembering that correctly. So
I think you're generally right. It's more arbitrarily extending the game with difficulty, I think, was one of the bigger criticisms.
Oh, okay.
So
well, I'm obviously not there yet. So
I remember dying a lot at like just early battles, and maybe not as early as you are, but it felt like it was spiking difficulty to some degree to just have you replay it again. And I remember potentially like having to go back pretty far checkpoint wise to redo certain things, which was annoying. I can kind of visually picture one part where I had to do that, even though it was 5 years ago or 4 years ago now. So yeah, I do want to revisit it though. And I will, just on topic of revisiting, I meant this with Resident Evil, just playing Requiem makes you want to play all the recent Resident Evil games again. Like if I didn't have other stuff to play, I would go back and play 2, probably 3, Village for sure. I want to revisit. So it's like, I bet they're going to sell a ton of previous Resident Evil games if 9 does well. Like they
had them all on sale for like $5 or something.
Yeah, there was a Humble Bundle, I think, too, selling them all on Steam at some point before 9. And 9, it might get Game of the Year. It's crazy.
That's it. That's it for me, Kenna. On Kenna.
All right, Sean.
Well, I know there's a couple other things we both played. I have some Steam Next Fest stuff I want to talk about too. Did either of you guys play any of the demos or no?
No, not really. No.
I don't think I said on the show I'm done with demos.
You did say that.
Okay. I thought I said that to you
Which-
after or something. I didn't know if I said it on the show officially.
No, you made that official declaration on the show. I'm pretty sure. But
Server slams
Yes,
don't
he
count.
He did say that.
okay. I don't know. How do you want to do this? Like, I feel like I don't have that much to say about a lot of them, so I can just burn through a bunch maybe. But I did play. So I had to start with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City demo. You know
Is this that third person one that everyone is losing it, or like the non-official one?
No, I don't know.
Okay. What's this one? I don't know what this one is.
This is a VR game.
Oh,
TMNT in VR, and it actually is pretty good. It's hard to tell from the demo though. You basically get to play as each of the turtles, kind of go through some rooftops, beat up some enemies, and then you kind of get to like the start of a boss fight, and that's where the demo ends. And it's not, story stuff. It's hard to tell how any of that's going to go, but each of the turtles control differently. I would say the highlight for me was the nunchucks, Michelangelo with the nunchucks. It's actually pretty cool how it feels kind of whipping those things around. But maybe the one that was the hardest was Raphael, because there's like a parry mechanic with the size, and you really got to like hit back exactly how the enemies are swinging at you. But traversal and stuff felt pretty good. And I think the art style is kind of reminded me of Deadpool VR actually. So I don't know, looking forward to that.
yeah. Just looking at the GIFs, the thing I'm the most impressed by is the enemy reactions when you like during combat. Like the effects are kind of cool, and the animations, how they react to the hits of the different weapons. This looks way better than what I had in my head when you said a VR Ninja Turtles game.
I mean, I was a little worried. I would say it's definitely higher quality than expected. It's just, the combat is in practice. It's still a little hit and miss. It's one of those things where it's like you can get just really close to someone and you're just kind of swinging your swords, and it's like you might hit them, you might not. Like you might block, you might not. Like, I don't know. That's always a problem with VR, though. I tried Zero Parades for Dead Spies. This is the new game from the studio that made Disco Elysium, which, a game that I kind of bounced off of, but was like, I don't know, I was excited. I thought I was going to love it, and it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I never really went back to it. But playing this made me want to go back to it because I actually really enjoyed this demo. But the weird thing is, it's not there was some controversy, right? Like the original creators got fired or something. And I don't think they're involved in it at all, but it feels a lot like Disco Elysium. Like the writing is pretty solid. The voice acting is really good. And it's just that same kind of thing where it's like, you start off, you're kind of walking around an apartment, and there's like, somebody you're supposed to meet with, and they're kind of unconscious, and you're trying to investigate what's going on. And everything you do is like, there's roles for all these different abilities you have for everything you click on, and you're like, I don't know what the hell half of this means. And there's all these dialogue trees, and half of it are kind of like jokey one-liners. And then as you're talking, your anxiety level goes up. It's like so much stuff going on, but I don't know. The story was pulling me in, and I really dug the writing. So, I mean, that's, I think, what people love about Disco Elysium. I feel like it's here too. So, and the art style is pretty cool and kind of reminiscent of Disco Elysium.
Yeah. I remember I had to take a break from Disco Elysium when I was playing, and I kicked a trash can, and then my character had a heart attack and died, and I had to restart the game. So I was like, okay, this is like crazy RNG going on in this game. So beware. I'm sure that's also in that game as well.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of systems under the hood that you really, I don't know if you can even figure them out. Like maybe if you play the game like 20 times, you would understand. But that being said, I was intrigued. Might pick it up when it comes out. Might go back and play Disco Elysium. I don't know.
When I think of Disco Elysium, I think of reading, and a lot of reading, which I'm not now. I need to mention one thing I played that also is reading intensive, which is Paranormasight, The Seven Mysteries of Honjo on Steam. I haven't played too much, but I bought it when it was on sale. And I I paid $5. Let's give it a shot. And it's more of a narrative, interactive story-based game, but I'm kind of impressed with it so far in terms of like just there's not so far. I've only hit one location really, but I like the aesthetic. I like the characters. The writing for the most part is pretty good, and it's a lot better than I thought it would be. I feel like, Huck, have you tried this? I think both of you would like it, but in particular, I don't
even know if I've heard of this. I feel like we talked about it before.
Yeah, the sequel just came out.
Yeah, it was that Mermaid's Curse.
Okay.
Nintendo Direct.
Got it.
So I picked it up on the Switch when it was on sale, like this past month. So
yeah, it was $5 or something, I think. So it's really good. I usually like check out of these types of games immediately, and what I think I like about this one is how much it limits the writing. I'm not like being burdened with countless details of story. It's like condensing things to like relevant information, and I think the characters are really strong to start the game.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw out another demo that's also in this realm. That's actually a game that I think comes out tomorrow. It's called Esoteric Ebb. And again, very influenced by Disco Elysium, but I think it's more of like, would be considered a CRPG. And it is more of like a fantasy setting, but the dialogue again is very like complex and like swearing and just like self-aware. And I really like the art style. This is another Raw Fury published game. So I don't know. It's almost like they've got this house aesthetic between like Seance of Blake Manor, Blueprints, and now this. Like they all kind of have the same look, which I really like.
Can you see the name one more time?
Esoteric
Ebb.
And so yeah, this one. So Zero Parades for Dead Spies had voice acting, which I find helps a lot when there's a lot of dialogue. I mean, depending on how slow the reading is, I guess. But at least then you can kind of skip through chunks of text and still pick up through the audio some of what's going on. This one was all just text, and it was a lot of reading. And I still liked it, but I felt like I was skipping through a lot of stuff. But I don't know, something about it felt very unique. And I was just checking before the show, and I think it got really good reviews on Metacritic. So
yeah, there's only 4, I think, right now. It's at a 88 with 11 critic reviews so far, and it looks like it's a single developer. Christopher Boatgard. I mean,
it's definitely in the credits seemed like there was one main creator. Yeah, and actually the opening was kind of cool how it plays out. And yeah, I don't know, I was digging it. It's just yet another game coming out right now that I don't know if I'll get to right away, but it's on my radar. The demo was cool, and you can carry your progress over. So if it's still available, check it out.
Interesting. Yeah, this was not on my radar at all. Looks kind of neat. Although I'm not in love with the art style, but I do like the look of some of the like systems menus where you're doing the rolls with different skills, and it looks pretty decent.
Okay, I'll pause there. Toss it over to one of you guys.
I mean, I'm going to hold off on eugenics because I still haven't played enough of that. I'd like to play some more before next week.
Okay.
But maybe Reanimal. Do you want to touch on that a bit?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I played the demo for this like last year, and I'm not much farther than where that demo got me to before. But this is actually a good chance to rant about Little Nightmares 3, because I'll get to that in a sec. But this is from the developers of Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Little Nightmares 3 ended up going to Supermassive. Is that who developed that? I can't remember. It's a different studio. But But so it is very similar to Little Nightmares. This one is co-op, which also Little Nightmares 3 is. And yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just two characters. You're kind of in this. You start off in a boat. You kind of go to this island, and you're trying to rescue some people from this island. And there's strange creatures roaming, and it's kind of one of these stealth type games where you got to hide from the enemies. There's a bit of puzzling, and I like the look of it and the atmosphere for sure. But yeah, Little Nightmares is the reference point. It feels very similar to those games. What did you think of it, Frank?
I think I only played the first chapter, which I liked. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I think it does a good job of establishing the vibe, aesthetic, creepiness, all that works for me. And I haven't played the Little Nightmares games, so I can't really compare it to those, but I thought pacing-wise, chapter 1 was pretty good. You have some stealth sections, some puzzle sections, and then some like higher intensity chase sequences as well. So when I'm playing those types of games, I think of, Limbo to some degree and Inside that did that really well. And that's, I think, what's makes one of those games great versus okay is pacing elements and variety. So I think they're onto something. Whether that's maintained through the whole game or not, I guess I'll find out. I think it's only about 4 or 5 hours, so I do plan on beating it over the next week or so. But yeah, I liked it. I really like the kind of evil skin suit enemies where they're just kind of like these like empty skins that are crawling or filling up with stuff. So we'll see where that goes, and it's working so far. It hooked me more than any of the Little Nightmares games did, or at least the first one when I tried that.
Yeah, so just to briefly touch on Little Nightmares 3. So I bought this game last year, and my kids kind of liked the first two games, and I was like, oh, it's co-op, perfect. And I bought it for Switch 2, which was a big mistake. I was like, this was around when the Switch 2 had just come out, I think, or a couple months later. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll, play it on the Switch 2. I'm looking for games to play on the Switch 2. So it doesn't have local co-op. It only has online co-op, which is problem number 1. Problem number 2, it doesn't have, or at least it didn't initially have what's the word I'm looking for? Cross-platform? No,
Cross-play.
Cross-gen play. So
cross-gen. Okay.
Because I thought, okay, well, we have a Switch and a Switch 2 here. Should be able to play this, right? But and it has the Friend Pass thing. But you download the Friend Pass on the Switch, and then you put the game in the Switch 2, and they aren't compatible. You can't play. I don't know why. Now, apparently they have added this in an update, but the other problem is you need 2 Nintendo Switch Online accounts. So I'm like, what the hell? So I haven't played this game, and I'm just angry about it. But Reanimal does have local co-op, so.
That was Little Nightmares 3 you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that when, like, weren't people, the original team had left?
Yeah, exactly. It
was like 3
studio.
kind of well-received at all?
Well, I think it got okay reviews, but I mean, it like I said, the Supermassive did it. I'm pretty sure it was them. It was somebody that was like, had done some good games, and so like it still had a pedigree behind it. But yeah, it was that. It was the fact that there was no local co-op. I don't know. There's a bunch of issues with it. There was apparently a lot of bugs. Maybe they fixed some of it now, but yeah, that was kind of a fail. Partially on my part. Interesting.
I'll just say I've played a bit more of Sons of Sparta, and the more I play, the worse it gets. There was a time when I had a bunch of powers unlocked, and then typically with those types of games, exploring became a bit more fun, and I was like, oh, this game is kind of hitting its stride now. But then I hit like this new area where the enemies are just spamming attacks, and I was dying constantly, and I'm just perplexed by the combat design in this game. When that is the core of the game, the combat is so bad. It's shockingly, incompetent in my opinion.
I want to ask a question that might be considered a mild spoiler for this game.
Okay.
So just, heads up here. But are you still using the spear to attack people?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Now, are you saying that because I speculated privately that you might get a different weapon at some point?
There's an expectation of a certain weapon, but I think just any weapon that is different would be nice.
Yeah, I don't know if that hope of mine is actually going to come to fruition.
I don't think so.
And I think if it does, it's going to be very brief at the end. But this is a game I could roast for sure. You just look at a combat scenario, and honestly, the vibe I get is I don't think I said this last week. I think there was a lot of issues between the developer and Sony making this game and rushing it out, and I think they intentionally sabotaged aspects of the game. That there's just placement of certain things that feels like it's there, like it's not broken. You couldn't say like it's a bug or it's broken, but it's there to make the game more frustrating and more annoying. I don't see how a game director or anyone on the team that played this game could look at certain areas and not say, hey, we should take that out, or this is kind of pointless. Or when you have to add some like thing that gives you magic power to spam combat in a certain combat scenario, the design is broken. You can just, like I've said with many other games, it reveals how it's broken with its own design. And it's, yikes. There are a few moments where I'm like, how did this ship like this? Like, who is working on this game? It is so bad.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, it's so bad, it feels intentional. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to put that out in the ether.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Because I don't see how like any professional game designer could have put or made some of these choices. Or in particular, a director of the game could have played it who knows how many times before it ships and not said, hey, this clearly needs to go. Or this is just wrong. There's no other way to say it. Anyone would say this is wrong if they played it. That's designed a game before.
Sure, you're not just in Blue Haze land here trying to make excuses and
excuses. I'm destroying this game.
You're trying to say that that the director
I see.
was not competent or was competent and was sabotaged.
See, I guess in my mind, I didn't fully articulate the fact that I think they were forced to rush it out, which would make it Sony's fault. That it could have been a better game, and because they said like, no, we need it for this shadow drop, or perhaps because they didn't have confidence in them, they're like, this is never going to get better. Just release it. This is our plan to make some money with it, and they're like, okay, that's what you want to do. We'll finish it right away. More that kind of spiteful design is what I'm thinking happened.
Okay. I guess maybe Jason Schreier.
I was going to say, Schreier, get on the case. There's your next scoop, buddy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something's going on with this game. Something's up. Mark my words. Some things will come out about the making of this game.
Okay. Well, I got a few more demos. Huck, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I got nothing else.
Okay, I'll just burn through a few things here. I tried Vampire Crawlers, which is the new kind of deck builder, dungeon crawler game spin-off from Vampire Survivors, which is interesting. It's very fast-paced, and the dungeon crawler aspect, you've got kind of that old-school first-person dungeon crawl. You maneuver through an environment, and then, enemies are on the map, and every time you hit an enemy, it's like a quick card battle. And so it's almost like that's the roguelike branching path thing in a way, I guess, as you're moving through these kind of maze-like areas. But the actual battling was just so... It felt like there wasn't a lot of strategy. And granted, I didn't play that much of it, so maybe I just didn't get far enough. But it just felt like you have like 3 cards, you play them, and then if you can kill your enemy with those cards, you move on. Otherwise, they get a chance to attack you back, and then you go again. And I don't know, but it was because of how fast paced it was kind of addictive. So they know what they're doing with that addictive element. So I don't know. It's got potential. Not really totally my kind of thing, but I'm interested. Tried Dench Attack. This is that weird train Tony Hawk mashup game, which was okay. I mean, definitely the presentation and everything was really cool, but the actual game felt kind of like Subway Surfers. If you guys ever played that game, it's like a mobile game that my kids used to play, where you're like on tracks and you're jumping back and forth to avoid obstacles.
I think they have that game at like Dave and Buster's type arcades as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but just like, a way more advanced version where it's like, you know, when you're jumping, you can do tricks in the air, but you're always on rails as far as I can tell, which kind of, I don't know, doesn't feel like Tony Hawk to me, like I get the Tony Hawk reference, but it's not quite that. So interesting, but maybe not as cool as I thought it was going to be. Played a game called Croak, which is I guess more of a precision platformer, I would say, but the art style is really cool, almost Cuphead-esque with how expressive the animation is, and you're a frog and you have a tongue that you can use to latch onto things. Kind of weird, like one of the things you have to do too is you have to push off from the wall with your tongue, which like the way that worked was like the opposite of what I expected, so it took a while to adjust to. But it seemed like it's going to be a really hard game. Like I played 10-15 minutes and I was already like, wow, this is the stuff you're throwing at the player here is hard. So
I mean, this is a 2D platformer. That Big Hops game was a
3D
3D with a frog.
Yep.
And I think there's another frog platformer
I think you're right.
coming out this year, like a physics-based one that I saw recently on PSN, coming soon.
I think there was a demo for that one too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the art style definitely is what attracted me to this. So
I was not aware of this game. The art is very cool.
Yeah, and I'll just mention Wild Blue Skies, which is the Star Fox spiritual successor, which is okay. I think you're very on rails. Like you're kind of just going in one direction, and you can kind of move to either corner of the screen. It's not like Star Fox where you can turn all the way around in 3D space. You know what I mean?
Buddy, have you played Star Fox?
Well, there's only certain levels in like.
Yeah, there's like 2 levels you can do that, and they're like circles. The dogfight levels, buddy. You gotta. This is embarrassing.
Really?
We better cut this. We better cut
what
this.
What about Star Fox 64? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there's only a couple levels. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 2 dogfight levels in Star Fox 64, and they're just big, like circles.
Oh,
all the other levels are on rails.
That's weird. I don't know. Like it to me, Star Fox still feels like you can change some direction. Like this is like you're literally just going straight forward the whole time.
Yeah, that's every Star Fox game ever.
Okay, then I guess I don't like Star Fox that much because it was. It just felt like there wasn't that much to it. The art style was cool. The cutscenes were really cool, like almost like Dispatch level cutscenes, I thought. But yeah, I don't know, the actual like trying to dodge attacks. Oh, and the other thing was there was no auto fire button, which I'm sure in Steam you could map it or something. But like I felt like I was like hurting my thumb how much I had to hit the button, and it wasn't doing a lot of damage.
I mean, I assume if it's like Star Fox and its counterpart Panzer Dragoon series, I think are the 2 comparable on rails shooters where you're flying, you have to hold the button to paint targets, and it has to have a mechanic like that where you like multi-hit things and then release it. It's got to have it.
Maybe it does. I mean, I don't remember seeing that, and it kind of, now that I think about it, I don't know if there was much of a tutorial at all, because I was trying to figure out what other weapons and attacks I had. Like there was kind of like a barrel roll, and like there's a bigger missile, but you only seem to have one of those per level or something. So yeah, I don't know. Guess it's not my thing, but
Star Fox, you had to spam attack as well. Like there was no auto fire in Star Fox. It's just for painting multiple targets, you could hold a button.
Okay.
And in the brief video
it's like
I'm
a charge
watching,
attack.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any painting of multiple targets, but I mean, I would bet my life that you can do it at some point, but maybe it doesn't get introduced till later.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's trying to be very faithful to Star Fox then. And I mean, obviously you've got a cast of, 4 different characters and different personalities and all that kind of stuff. So it's there. But yeah, maybe I was expecting something that I shouldn't have been expecting.
Buddy, time to get on that virtual console and play Star Fox 64. You don't know what you're missing out on. The on-rails is what makes it great.
Yeah, it's like Star Fox 1, I remember playing a bit of. Have I even played Star Fox 64? I don't know. Maybe not.
I hope you have.
I mean,
you should have.
If you're remembering open areas, those were only in Star Fox 64, and
yeah.
I haven't played it, but maybe Star Fox Assault for GameCube.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely a blind spot, I guess. What about, isn't Star Fox 2 like the lost game that was on SNES
on Super Nintendo? And yeah, but I haven't played it. I assume it's also on rails. Could be wrong.
Maybe I'll give it a poke.
Dude, you hate it. You hate that it's on rails. You think it's the stupidest thing ever. It has no right to exist. That's okay. You're entitled to your opinion.
I do prefer not to be on rails.
All right. That's it for me. I don't have anything else. You good, Sean?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. That's going to do it for this week's show. I don't think any big releases this week other than Marathon goes full release. That Esoteric Ebb drops.
Yeah, there's a couple
tomorrow.
of things. Scott Pilgrim's out.
Oh, the Pokemon game.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Pokopia.
Apparently.
Which reviews were dropping for Pokemon Pokopia today, and they are very high. Like Metacritic is at 89 currently, and
damn.
I was like, okay, this is the one Nintendo Switch 2 game I don't have to buy. I don't have to spend $100 on this. Now I'm not so sure. Yeah. I might have to get it, but
it's only Switch 2.
I believe so.
Oh boy.
I don't know for
according to
sure,
Metacritic, it says only Switch 2.
Okay.
Oh, also Slay the Spire 2 is out this week.
This week?
I think it's early access, though. I know you're not a big early access guy. And
that's a glorified demo. Out.
Planet of Lana 2 is also out on Game Pass.
All right. I got to catch up this week. So I got to finish Cairn. I got to finish Reanimal, Resident Evil, and
2026 is ramping up big time.
I feel like it's just been an intense first couple months. I think we're going to have a lull coming up.
You think? I don't know.
It's too much. I was so committed to beating everything, and I don't think it's going to happen. And I like Mugenics. I'm never on my PC yet. I have no time to play it, and I want to play that game. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see what we play this week. Thank you for watching it at youtube.com/GameJunk. If you do, leave a comment. Discord links are there as well. Don't forget, patreon.com/FilmJunk. And you can check out it won't be up yet, but next Monday, youtube.com/FilmJunk, right? It's a Film Junk podcast, Sean, on YouTube.
I think it's just Film Junk. I think.
You can subscribe now. You'll be getting some free video content there more regularly. So do that as well. And thank you for doing that if you do. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.